Now tonight, we will convene as the Zoning and Land Use Commission. We will first have the prayer by Mr. Smith and the pledge by Mr. Rogers.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you look over this meeting as it's in the business of this parish. Look over all of us and give us your wisdom, guidance, and understanding, that we make the best decisions for our parish and the people that live here. These are all things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Ms. Becky, roll call.
Mr. Michael Billiot. Mr. Terry Gold. Here. Mr. Robbie Liner.
Here.
Mr. Clarence McGuire.
Here.
Mrs. Angele Poisson.
Here.
Mr. Jan Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Travion Smith.
Here.
Mr. Barry Soudier.
Here.
Mr. Wayne Thibodeau. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Becky. Derek.
I have something to say at conflict, so I just turned it on then. But you
Okay.
can just leave it on if you'd like.
At this moment, conflict disclosure. I remind the commissioners that anytime tonight a conflict of interest exists, arises, or is recognized as to any issue during this meeting, he or she should immediately disclose it and to recuse himself and herself from participating in the debate, discussion, and voting on this matter. Does any member have anything to disclose at this time?
I recuse myself of that one.
Wait, gotcha. Oh. Hit the light one more time.
I recuse myself of F1. I recuse myself of F1.
All right, Terry Gold, F1. Thank you, sir. D,
Hold on. That's when I turned my light on for that one.
Okay.
So you're the applicant for F1?
The applicant,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So I'm not sure if y'all spoke. I was speaking to Chris. So just when that one comes up, just go in the audience. If they have any questions for you, just greet them as any member of the public that has an application for that one. And then when we come to new business, just rejoin us as a member of the board.
Yes, sir.
okay, D, the approval. Yeah, I was waiting for communication. D, the approval of the minutes of the Zoning and Land Use Commission from the regular meeting of September 11th, 2025.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a motion by Mr. Rogers,
Second.
second by Ms. Angel. All approved, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. So motion passes. We'd like to thank Mr. Bryan, Councilman, for coming. We appreciate you. Did you want to get up and say something right now? No? Okay. All right, need a motion to take old business.
No communication.
Oh, I'm sorry. Still got communication.
There's no communication, so.
Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to F, old business. The rezoning from R1.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say it first, but we'll make a motion I need a motion for old business to take off the table first.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith, a second by Mr. Rogers. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. To rezone from R1 Single Family Residential to R2 Two Family Residential, 2620 Isaac Street, Lot 14, Block 2, Barrowtown Subdivision, Arman Properties. Yes, sir.
Yes, Ken Rembert representing Arman, 635 School Street, Houma. And I think we had left off with, I think, a police report we had to get in, something. Were we not at that particular spot, Chris?
That's correct.
We are. Did you want to get into that administration? It's no public hearing on this one, right?
Right, the public hearing was closed.
Yeah.
You can ask if there's anybody to speak, but,
Yeah, I would, before we get into that, I would just,
I'll open it up to the, if there is a new person or someone that would like to speak in reference to F1, would like to stand up and state your piece. Name and address, please.
Brian Pleasure, 125 Roseland Avenue. And I'm here in regards to the continuation of this property here for the rezoning from R1 to R2.
And it's been continued a couple times now. And based on some of the uh, things I suggested, I'm understanding you guys did some police reports or
Yes, sir, I think we
was
have.
able to get some data on that. I did have a chance to speak with, on several occasions or a couple occasions, I did speak with the actual applicant about this. But there again, I still have to make sure that, I'm here representing constituents, of course, and that's what I have to do.
Yes, sir.
But also, I don't think I had an opportunity to mention to you guys that you guys have sent a number of, had a number of properties rezoned from R1 to R2, R3, what have you, in the immediate neighborhood or in the vicinity. A lot of that was due to restore people coming back to the neighborhood. And I know that previously planning and zoning was only rezoning properties in this instance, I guess you would say, doing a spot thing in the Mechanicville area. And I know once I got into office, what I decided to do was to sort of streamline that a little bit more. Only, I would be for or wouldn't be opposed to putting a mobile home structure, rental property, or any structure on a property, rezoning it if the folks that had the application were going to live there.
Mhm.
And then in this case, we had the property or the people who own property in the neighborhood. They're the ones who came to me about it.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I have to represent those folks and say that that they don't approve of it. And I'm asking for you guys' careful consideration in that. I understand that it's only been 3 times that, in the police report, it's only been 3 times that the police were called out since the current property owner has owned it. But it's a history there. If you go back even further, and I mean, just the other day, I received a phone call the other night of somebody wielding a gun. And I'm not sure if that reflects in your report where they sent pictures. I have those pictures of 10, 12 police cars,
Yes, sir.
excuse me. So with that being said, I ask for you guys' careful consideration on rezoning this property.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to come up and say something on this matter?
Terry Gold, Ironman Properties of America, 2131 Bay Blue Road. So, yeah, we did have a disturbance at that one property. That tenant was a gun, it was a knife, issues, and the tenants weren't getting along. But this same tenant, we had an issue at another property, and we just thought that we would remove her from another property because we were thinking it was just a one incident case. We moved her to this new property, and we had the same problems. So this morning, we took her to court, and we were awarded the eviction. So she is no longer a tenant of ours. She has moved out as of 12 o'clock today. Eviction was 9 o'clock this morning. But our company is not in the business of just renting to anybody. We have an extensive we have Buildium software that we run background checks, we run credit checks, we don't rent to anyone with a felony or sex offenders. So we try to be as scrutinous as we can on every applicant. And we find out something is going on at a property, we try to get in front of everything. So it's not, and we are local people. I know one lady said we don't live here, but we do. I live probably 5 minutes from there. I grew up in that area on the east side of town. So not in the business of trying to put bad people. We can't make money if we putting bad people in our properties. We have to get good people, take care of the properties, and yeah, we are trying to make money just like all of us. So with that being said, we run a good company. We have 130 properties within the tri-parish area, and we would ask that you take consideration that we're running a good company and we're looking for the best of the community.
Thank you, Mr. Gold. Mr. McGuire.
Mr. Gold, just real quick, you purchased that property how long ago now?
Purchased that property about 5 months ago. The which property we talking about? Isaac or West Street?
West Street.
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
Okay.
Which I might add, it was for sale. So if they didn't want, if the neighbors didn't want something built there, they had the opportunity to buy that.
And how long you been owning the other property?
Maybe 3 years.
Okay.
So the 147 West Street is occupied at this time?
Well, one side it's a duplex there.
Duplex. And you're saying the young lady that was at 147 is no longer there?
147B has been evicted as of today. And I do have that. I shared it with Becky on an email, but she couldn't open it. But I could send it to Chris tomorrow morning or tonight. So
Okay.
Okay.
But the person in 147 apartment A,
B.
I know, but A is still there though.
Yes, sir.
And that's okay.
You good, Mr.
Yeah,
McGuire?
I'm good.
Mr. Billiard.
Mr. Gold, do you know if there is a neighborhood watch program or any of that in either of those communities?
I do not. I would highly recommend that for people that live there.
You would highly recommend that for whom? Somebody who might own a property there?
For the
Well, I'm asking, the reason I'm asking is because I was wondering if you own 130 properties, if you could actually invest in something like that and put some resources toward, like time, right? Probably
right.
time, to create such a community led organization that would be looking into crime in the area.
So one thing I'm finding out about some of these areas, if you don't have a community watch, is they let people know about the incidences. I'm sure Mr. Bryan gets a lot of calls, but what I'm not seeing is that these folks aren't calling the police. They're afraid to call the police. So we try to get involved. So we'll get 1 or 2 tenants in our complexes. If something happens to straighten this up, we have to have people that's going to be involved, sort of a community watch.
Mm-hmm.
And they let us know. We put up cameras. We don't have cameras at this location, but we have some cameras with the lights, the blinking lights that are HPD has access to the cameras, and they use them at will for our purpose, their purpose. But we don't have that access here. So, but I mean, we'd be willing to. I couldn't personally be involved with it. I would be involved. I couldn't spearhead that program though.
Okay.
But I would like to work with Mr. Bryan in getting that started. I would, absolutely.
The reason I ask is because if there is an allegation of some kind that your property is inviting harm into the community, a good response to that might be to ensure that you're doing the opposite and bringing a positive spin to the community and helping out in the way that the community appears to want you to, and that is to ensure that crime is lessened and not increased. And that might be an opportunity for you to do so, is to participate in a neighborhood program that would with the intention of decreasing crime. Another question I have is, with the young lady who was evicted, do you know where she went?
I do not.
Do you know what the problem was?
So we had on 3. I know 2 of the 3 I can remember off bat. One of them was an illegal handgun. The other was a knife incident. And so she had a problem with the other neighbor. And so there was then our tenant's mother came there and took out a knife and tried to stab someone. And so they called me at 9:00 at night. And so we got involved the very next day and started this process.
Those are the consequences of the problem. I'm asking you if you know what the problem is. For example, is there a drug addiction is there a
So, I think, no, I don't think she was on drugs, but I think her family members are. So this is an ongoing problem. So I have to follow the law, right? And we can't discriminate towards tenants or their friends or their families. So they let their friends and they let their families come there, and that's the problem. We can do our part 150%,
Mhm.
but if they having a party or a birthday party or Christmas and they letting drug dealers or family members that's coming out that known drug dealers, they let them go to their homes. I don't let drug dealers to my house,
Mhm.
but they allow it. So how do you fight that? How do you say you can't have your family member there?
Mhm.
I'm asking because I would love to know.
Well, if you are talking about drug addiction, I think that eviction is, and I'm not saying that your eviction was incorrect, but I think that that doesn't address the problem. That addresses the consequence of the problem not being addressed. And perhaps there is therefore some advocacy for reduction of drug dependency that could be advocated for.
So I'm in the rental business.
Right.
Understand.
I'm about to say something on that because this is getting a little extreme with holding a property owner to all of these. We've never held an investor to these type of standards on we as an investor myself, we have rules and regulations and policies we follow to put the best people possible, but that's all we could do. To hold someone to these type of standards, if we're going to do this carrying on, you could forget investors coming to Terrebonne because this is extreme. This man's got 100-something property to stay on top of all of that on crime and everything else going on. That is literally impossible to do. He's not in law enforcement. He's not a lawyer. He is a property owner. That's it. This seems extremely, extremely difficult to be an investor with all of this being said.
Just want, he mentioned about the camera. Would you be open to that as far as in that particular area, like you did on Magnolia?
So we would have to get a cost analysis on that, but I don't think it would. I don't. I don't think it would warrant a camera system because if it's enough crime, HPD should put a camera there.
All right. Okay.
If we have a complex, we can do it, but to allocate, $10,000 on a camera that there's because we have to set up Wi-Fi, we have to, it's over $10,000 to put a camera on a pole.
It's just showing that the tenants or neighborhood, the folks in the neighborhood.
So we can't put it on our house or in the duplexes because where you going to put a modem? Where you going to put because then the tenants so if you do have family members or the tenants that it's a bad tenant, they're going to destroy it. They're going to disable it. You can't. It's impossible.
Trust me, I know.
You good, Mr. McGuire?
Yeah, I'm good.
Derek.
You said you sent the eviction notice to Becky and she had trouble opening it. I'll give you my email. Can you just try to send it to me and I can try to open it, and if successful, I can share it with Becky for the file.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
Mr. Billiot.
I just want to say briefly that no one is saying that any standards should be imposed upon developers. That's just not an accurate description of what I was saying. There is an allegation that the way that you are handling your property is causing harm to the community, and the only thing that I am doing is giving some suggestions as to what might be the response to that. I don't want anybody to think that there are some standards or anything being imposed upon developers, as opposed to giving some advice on how we can respond to community members who have shown some concern.
So I would like to add on. So on the allegations on the way we're running our business that's creating crime, our business doesn't create crime, and we put we run the background checks and credit checks. So we're doing everything possible. It's up to the community to help to help
Themselves.
police itself in a sense that in the property that we bought, the property at mentioned Isaac, there was an abandoned building there. So there's no way they can say that building was safer when they were homeless people and drug activity. And we tore that building down. It cost thousands of dollars. And we're going to put a home there. And then nobody else was buying that property. Mm-hmm. It was up for sale. Nobody else wanted it. We're going to put a home there for somebody else to rent that couldn't afford it. So, but I'm willing to sell the property to a neighbor. We don't need it. We could sell it to a neighbor. I'll give you 30 days. If a neighbor wants to buy it and they want to build something or have a garden, so be it. I don't need it.
Thank you. Administration. Well, let me, well, I'm gonna close public. Anybody else from the public would like to speak? Going once? Public?
It's not formal.
I know, I was just doing it anyway. Twice public, 3 times public. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Brian. Pleasure, 125 Roselawn again. Thanks for allowing me again to be able to share, but in listening to all the robust conversation and dialogue that's going. We had a couple questions from Mr. McGuire, Mr. Billiot, also yourself, Mr. Chair. I'd like to share with you the reason for the problem and what I see as an individual who was raised in a community like this, have traveled the world and moved back to this same community. The problem is when it comes to rental properties, none of you guys, I'm just going to use you for an example because you're here. None of you guys are in rental properties, I'm assuming. And this is not going to be 2620 Isaac Street. That's not going to be the property that you're going to look at to put your family because of the area. And the common denominator in all that is, it's because it's a rental property. Who looks for rental properties? People who can't afford to buy their own home, people whom have had shortcomings in life, people who aren't established enough as an investor, and drug addicted people, not to categorize anyone, but statistically, if you look at it, who lives in rental properties? So this is the only area that they're going to come to because it's affordable, it's off the beaten path, and it's where they're comfortable. I can assure you, if you look at any data, any affluent neighborhood here in Terrebonne Parish, you probably can't count any rental properties within, or if you can, it's very few. And the ones that are there, if they're brought to the light like here, what we're talking about now, this room would be full with the people who live next door. Like when they were here, are they afraid to come forward because they're afraid of retaliation? Yes, they are. But I represent those folks. I have broad shoulders, so that's why I have to stand here for them.
Sure.
And I want the investors to be able to thrive here in this parish more than anything. But at the same time, we have to recognize where the problem is. And I challenge our investors, where are your properties located? Thanks, guys.
Sir. Yes, sir. Going twice public, 3 times public. Motion to close. Motion by Mr. Soudier, second by Ms. Angel. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. Closed. Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a requested rezone from R1 to R2. The zoning ordinance states that in order to rezone a property, one of the following conditions must apply. Number 1 is error. Number 2 is change in conditions. Number 3 is increase in need for sites for business or industry. And number 4 is subdivision of land. The applicant and staff agree that the application fits under item 2, change in conditions, due to the increasing need for affordable housing in the area. The subject property is abutting an existing R2 zone district, so the request is exempt from the minimum size requirement. What, I'm sorry? Oh, okay.
Bless you.
All public notice requirements have been met, and staff received 2 calls regarding this request expressing no opposition. but we had stated opposition at the past two Zoning and Land Use Commission meetings. The crime data for the neighboring property at 147 West Street has been received. Over the past 2 years, 11 incidents had occurred. The Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission has recommended approval on numerous similar requests in this area and other R1 zone districts. And although alarming, the crime data is not sufficient criteria that staff is able to consider under review criteria for proposed zoning amendments. It is also worth noting, one of the comments in, I think, the first meeting was that I guess the alleged users were going into other properties on Isaac. And I know that at least one of those at 2617 Isaac, which is across the street and I think two doors down, is on the condemnation list. And I drove by it today. It looks pretty rough, so I don't imagine that would, it'll probably end up getting demolished. But for those reasons, staff recommends approval of the rezone request from R1 to R2.
Thank you, administration. Commissioner comments or a motion? Have a motion to approve by Mr. Soudier. A second by Mr. McGuire. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes.
Thank you much.
Do you want to say your?
Yeah, or there, it's only a recommendation, it's going to the Terrebonne Parish.
Yeah, my mic's on. So it's only this, just for everyone's awareness, this is only a recommendation, just like staff gives a recommendation, so too the Zoning and Land Use Commission's approval is approval of a recommendation to the council. So this matter will now be forwarded to the council where a public hearing will be called and held 30 days later. So that'll probably put it sometime in late November,
Thanksgiving-ish.
Yeah.
give or take.
Give or take.
Yeah.
So,
I would say mid-December.
yeah, possibly mid-December.
Sounds great. New business. Planned building group. Placement of a two-story housing building containing 2 apartments, 440 Magnolia Street. Start Corporation.
Here's the remote.
Good evening. Greg Gleason, Start Corporation, 270 Sugarwood in Houma. We're presenting a community housing, we're a community housing and development organization, Start Corporation is, and we're looking to develop this property at 440 Magnolia on the corner of Magnolia and Roussel Street.
Yes, sir. All right. Just in case if you want to step to the side, we'll just ask the public, public on this matter. Going once, public on this matter. 2 times public. 3 times public. Need a motion to close? I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Mr. Billiot. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to take an opportunity to introduce Mr. Henry Lucio. He is our new Planner 1, started last week. He comes to us with 3.5 years of experience at Jefferson Parish and 2 years at St. Tammany Parish. He's a former classmate of Mr. Billiot, so he knows his way around the zoning ordinances and so forth. So
Awesome.
Henry's going to be giving the staff report tonight, so take it away, Henry. Push the, yeah.
All right. Placement of one two-family residential unit on a single parcel located at 440 Magnolia Street in a C2 General Commercial Zoning District. The proposed duplex does not meet the requirements of Chapter 28, Article 5, Section 92 of the Parish Zoning Ordinance as it pertains to protection of residential districts and building spacing. A chain link fence existed previously that spanned the entire rear lot. Only poles are found to exist. According to the R3 regulations, the building dimensions are 25 feet in the front yard, 5 feet in the side yard, 15 feet in the corner side yard, and 30 feet in the rear yard. According to the site plan, the proposed building 1 does not meet the required building spacing. According to TPCG engineering, drainage counts are not needed. And according to the site plan and not applicable for review, there is a third duplex labeled proposed future building 2 proposed for the site. Another application will need to be submitted prior to approval. And the staff recommends approval of the planned building group conditioned upon the applicant satisfying the fence requirement and receiving a variance from the Board of Adjustments for the rear dimension.
Thank you, administration. Any commissioner comments or a motion?
I'll go ahead and move to approve for the staff recommendations and the variance.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Ms. Angel.
Well, there's no variance on the application. Right, that's the condition of approval. I just want to make that clear. You guys aren't granting a variance. Yeah.
Got
You still with your motion?
I'll still make my motion.
Mr. Rogers with the motion and the second, and Ms. Angel, all approved, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. So motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Staff report?
No staff report for zoning.
Commissioner comments? Public comments? I need a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Mr. Studier, all approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. All right, we're gonna get right into convene as the Regional Planning Commission now. Once again, we'll have the prayer by Mr. Smith and the pledge by Ms. Angel.
Father God, we come to you once again, asking that your wisdom and your guidance be our lamp and our torch tonight, Lord. We ask that you give us the understanding to make decisions for the best of this parish. And we ask, Lord, that you cover this governing body as we do the work for Terrebonne Parish. These and all things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Ms. Becky,
Mr. Billiard,
I took it off. She got it.
Mr. Billiard. Mr. Gold. Mr. Liner.
Here.
Mr. McGuire. Mrs. Planson. Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Soudier. Mr. Thibodeau. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Becky. Conflict disclosure. I remind the commissioners that any time tonight a conflict of interest exists, arises, or is recognized as to any issue during this meeting, he or she should immediately disclose it and to recuse himself or herself from participating in the debate, discussion, and voting on this matter. Does any member have anything to disclose at this time? Okay, D, approval of the minutes of the Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission minutes for the regular meeting of September 11th, 2025.
So move.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Ms. Angel. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. E,
A motion to approve the remittance of the payment for the October 16, 2025 invoices and the treasury report of September 2025.
I have a motion by Mr. Studier, a second by Mr. Billiard. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. Communication.
Yes, sir. I have three. Two technically, I guess. The first one pertains to both items H1 and H2. It's a letter dated October 16th, 2025. Dear Chris, please let this letter serve as a request to allow the above items to be removed from tonight's agenda and let them be considered at a later date of November 20th, 2025. I've not been able to contact Ms. Dickerson at the Board of Health yet to discuss the substandard size lots. She's been working out of town. Thank you. Sincerely, Ken Rimbert. So that's for items H1 and H2.
Okay, what about 3?
Item H3, I have a letter dated October 15th, 2025. Dear Mrs. Becknell, we We are hereby requesting that you remove the minor subdivision with variance request for Mr. Rodney Lede from the October 16th, 2025 agenda of the Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission meeting. At this time, the punch list items are not complete, and we request that this item be placed on the November 20th, 2025 meeting agenda. Thank you in advance for your cooperation and assistance in the matter, and if you have any questions or require any additional info, please do not hesitate to contact our office. Sincerely, David Waits.
Thank you, administration. I need a motion for H 1, 2, and 3. I have a motion by Mr. Smith, a second by Mr. Soudier. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. I need a motion to take G1 and G2 off the table. I have a motion by Mr. Rogers and a second by Mr. Smith. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. G1, division of property belonging to Mr. Oliver Nakan. Assigns into lot B, C, and D. Yes, ma'am.
Elise, it's always like way harder to me. Elisa Champagne, Charles McDonald Land Surveyors, 3697 West Main Street. We were on the agenda last month, but we needed to ask for a variance. The developer is creating 3 lots of record. 1 is commercial, 2 residential, fronting on Oliver Court, which is a private street. So we're asking for a variance from the required 25-foot minimum on a public street. This street was created way back when in the 60s, where the lots on the south side, they all use that street for frontage. So does the existing house on track, can't see from that far, lot C. And lot B in the front, I think it's lot B. Yeah, lot B in the front would also front on that street. And at one time, there was a house up there. It has been torn down, and they've always used that private street for access for their family. And they have their business in the back.
I just want to take a moment too for everybody out there. If you are here for H1, H2, or H3, we would not be hearing that tonight. I just want to repeat that. I've got a couple people, just want to make sure nobody missed that. H1, 2, and 3, we will not be discussing tonight till next meeting. So if you're here for one of those, unfortunately, you will have to come back next month. I just didn't want to waste anybody's time. Okay, we're going to open it up to the public on this matter. Going once on old business number 1. Going twice. 3 times. I have a motion by Mr. Rogers. A second by Mr. Soudier. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a minor subdivision process D to create 3 lots for single-family residential and commercial use. The lot configuration meet parish subdivision regulation standards for development, but there are some frontage issues. Proposed Lot D has no frontage, but as it is a commercial use, no frontage is required, and a note to that effect has been placed on the plat, meaning that Lot D is for commercial purposes only. However, proposed Lot C has an existing residence, so that use is and will remain residential. Section 24.7.1.2.4 of the parish subdivision regs require that all residential lots have a minimum of 25 foot of frontage along a public right-of-way. Oliver Court is a private street. The applicant is requesting a variance from the requirement for Lot C, and proper public notice has been given. The applicant provided a narrative stating the hardship. As this is a pre-existing servitude of passage, staff has no objection to the granting of the variance. All utility letters have been submitted, as well as an approval letter from TPCG Engineering. Staff recommends approval of the variance for Lot C and approval of the subdivision.
Thank you, administration. Commissioner comments or a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Billiard. Second by Mr. Rogers. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, G2, the cottages at Cypress Ridge, Phase A. Yes, sir. Name and address. I don't know if you want to kick it straight to Joan. She is excited. She's so ready to give this report right now. She put a light on super early. Thank you, Joan.
J. Milford, Milford and Associates, 1538 Polk Street. Take it away, Joe.
Engineering Division, Terrebonne Parish Department of Public Works has reviewed the plans and calculations for the cottages at Cypress Ridge Phase A. Plans and calculations fail to comply with parish ordinances and subdivision regulations in the following areas. The developer must submit architectural elevations, including graphic depictions such as photographs or measured drawings to the planning commission, which I believe they did, but I would need Chris to verify and see if they have been approved. All lots are not graded to drain to the street into a major drainage artery. The Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission can allow a portion to drain to the rear if it already exists or is to be dedicated. However, the percentage may not exceed 60% of the total depth of lots up to 225 feet. This subdivision qualifies for this exception. Impacts to the system will be further analyzed with our modeler and addressed at a later date. At final, a plat will need to be recorded showing the entire servitude for the outfall. Approval letter should be provided from the following utilities: gas utility and pollution control.
Thank you.
Mr. Milford did submit architectural elevations. We received those on September 30th, 2025.
Christopher, your recommendation is to
Approval on the condition of agreeing to the conditions as per engineering punch list.
yes, sir. Commissioner's comments or a motion?
Mr. River has a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Rimmer.
Milford.
As is the requirements that we have for drainage, we need to actually get a proactive variance for item 2A to allow us to use rear lot drainage. We're asking for basically the back 40 feet or so of all the lots on block 2, which abuts a drainage ditch that we're putting in. We qualify for it, but it was one of those things that they put in the rules that you'll have to grant us the variance. We just don't get the carte blanche to do it. All the other items will resolve or comply.
What's the variance? You said 40 feet. What are you asking to go from?
2A, it's to be able to use the lots that are in block 2 of the development that is going to back up to a major drainage outfall that is part of the design for the subdivision.
That's the Wallace J drainage existing, correct?
No, sir. We're putting in a drainage ditch that follows the entire length of the subdivision. So when you come in off of Executive Drive, you turn left on the beginning of Rustling Oaks. As you turn right and take the long road going to the back, the lots that'll be on the right-hand side of the south side of the development, just south of just right behind those lots, there will be an outfall drainage ditch that runs the entire length, going back, crossing the CC's ditch and all the way back to the St. Louis Bayou in the rear. Because of that, because we're going to have a major drainage artery there that's going to have a parish servitude for it, the rules allow us to be able to drain for it. We just have to get it proactively acknowledged by the planning commission to do so, and that's what we're asking for. Because otherwise, we'd have to take the back of the lots, drain them to the road, put them in a culvert, and then drain them right back to the ditch in the back. And it doesn't make quite sense to do that. So, and all other items will resolve or comply.
And everything on the side of it is undeveloped at the time, correct? On the side, in between that ditch?
This is undeveloped.
South of that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just a ditch back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you put it on the aerial?
Yeah, I'm just, for future use, if we allow that to happen, how does it affect the person on the side in the future?
On the side?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The wrong way. Where the drain's gonna be, to the south.
On the south side, yes, ma'am. It's parallel and adjacent to the development.
Subdivision, there's gonna be a huge ditch right here along this property line, all the way to the back. They wanna be able to drain to that ditch. That's along that whole.
Right, and then.
Just the back half of the lots, the stuff behind the houses.
So I just want to make sure we all get that all of that drainage, and I know this is your expertise, but all of that drainage is adding into the back of Wallace J, correct? Are we making any adjustments to this?
That's why I'm having my modeler check his model.
All right, because we had a number of people coming in with that concern because they said they already have high water on that existing bayou back there. So I just want to make sure we have this conversation before they come back over here saying, I'm flooding now since y'all let that happen. Joan,
Regardless of whether you allow the back half of those lots to drain to that outfall or not, it's gonna be using that outfall. This is just about allowing half of the subdivision that abuts that drainage ditch to drain the rear of their lot directly into the drainage ditch. That's all the variance he's asking for.
Right, so they're gonna have to go curb and gutter and then flow it all the way back to the.
let me hit your mic. Go
Right,
ahead.
so instead of those lots that already abut the
Yeah.
drainage ditch that he's digging, instead of having to drain it all to the street and then back
Bring
to
it
the
back.
ditch, he's gonna drain half of it to the ditch and half of it to the street. Exactly. That's why it says, he qualifies for this exception. And that's what he's asking for, is an exception to item 2A.
Just needed to make sure.
Yep.
All right, any other commissioner comments or motion?
I'll make a motion to accept based on engineering punch list items.
Second. I have a motion by Mr. Smith, a second by Mr. Billiard.
Can I reword that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can rescind motion. Has anyone seconded it?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Billiard.
Okay, just rescind your motion.
So I'm gonna rescind that motion and make a motion for us to get a variance. I worded it wrong.
We're getting the variance.
Yeah. Yeah,
What are you trying, just reword the whole thing. What are you trying to allow?
to allow them to get a proactive variance for 2A to drain to the rear of the property.
All he has to do is.
Is that correct, John?
That's fine. I understand what you want.
Okay, perfect. As long as she understands, go with me.
Gotcha.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith, a second by Mr. Billiard. All approve, aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, all the way down to I, staff report.
No staff report for planning commission.
Administrative approvals.
I'll move items J1 through 7.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Mr. Soudier. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. Committee report.
Yes.
Want me to open it to the public first?
Yeah, well, just real quick, I mean, since the last regular meeting, we had a special meeting on September 25th where we discussed, we held a public hearing to discuss the proposed RV park regulations. We had called for a second special meeting on October 8th to have a public hearing to discuss the same. We didn't have a quorum at that meeting, so like we had discussed, without a quorum present, it just essentially rolls over into what amounts to a subdivision regulation review committee. So we've got a lot of public comments at both of those meetings, and then Derek and I compiled all those comments into a revised draft that was circulated around and published online. So that's what we have before us tonight.
Thank you very much. Mr. Derek.
Yeah, like Chris said, so we met and just put all the notes that, everyone had been saying that they agree, say it's feet, just 1,000 feet to something else, or landscaping, or Morganza instead of the development district, whatever it is. And we just kind of put that into where it was easier to read, because the way it was, there was a lot of red line everywhere. So there's just a clean version of that.
So going to that, I want to thank everybody that did that subcommittee. I thought it was extremely successful. There was a lot of input from the community, a lot of input from our commissioners. I thought it was a happy medium for everyone. I'm really proud of what we came up with. I think it's a great spot moving forward. The second thing is we talked about Morganza, the south.
Yeah.
Is that part of this, or is that on?
Yes.
Okay, that is.
So that is shown in 1702. You'll see,
That's the one I was looking for.
except for the location outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection System, in which the following sections of this article do not apply. And they have listed the sections of this article that will not apply to locations south of there,
And all the other regulations will apply except for this particular
Right.
paragraph.
So
unless the commission says otherwise.
at that last meeting, when we were discussing that, you had mentioned, that we wanted to keep in public health, safety, welfare items. So when we started going line by line through these things, we realized there are a lot more of those than the ones we are excluding. So it seemed to make it easier if we just list out the exclusion.
I understand. Perfect.
What was taken out was mainly all landscaping, all landscape buffers, and lot size requirements.
South of the
Yes,
Morganza.
yes.
So, for instance, you brought up 1,000 feet. That all is. The same goes for south of the Morganza for something like that as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what section that's in, but yes, I would.
It's
Is that D? Is that
D, 1708 D.
Which is that in the
But
section?
we changed it to 500.
That's right, with a buffer.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm asking.
No,
'cause
Chris. That's 1708D was not part of the.
No, that's still required outside of the Morganza.
Correct. Yes.
And it's 500 feet, not 1,000, because we had said, okay, you could have 1,000 feet setback, but if you put in a buffer, then you can drop it down to 500. Well, the buffer is still required. The landscaping is not, but you could still have a fence. So everyone's going to have a buffer.
I just think that gets a little bit difficult south of Morganza to have a buffer. You out of land down there. That's the only one that
That's why we're here. Yeah, any changes y'all want to make, obviously, we're open to them.
We had a feeling we'd be back on that one tonight. So.
Yeah.
Do we have a map that shows the Morganza line? We'll just discuss that.
I don't know.
That's the only one I
Careful
feel
what
like.
buttons you push.
That's the only one I feel like we have to pull out. South of Morganza just needs to have no buffer. Yeah.
Yeah, if we go to the GIS map, we could pull it up.
Because any type of buffer you're going to do south of the Morganza is going to be trouble. If you got a fence, wind, if you got water, you can't have plants. I don't know how you could hold them to a buffer south of that Morganza.
Okay,
Mr. Soudier.
Yes, well, that's what I was touching on, what you was just saying, Robert. Rob, because if you put a fence up and water comes with all the saltwater grass, knocks it all down, nothing gonna grow down there. So I mean, it's really a difficult situation to have this item in the mandate this item.
Agreed.
So if you wanted to add 1708D to the list under 1702, then that would take it out.
I can show it to you.
You'd have to turn the aerial photo on, and you just have to sort of go find it.
Is all the commissioners okay with making this adjustment? Ms. Angel?
Okay, so I am okay with making that adjustment, but it also says, section 1707G, landscaping. That 1707G says signs. 1707F is landscaping.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, when we were eliminating things, we needed to adjust that. So that's F.
So landscaping is what you're trying to
Take out.
accept. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not apply. Okay, so F.
So under 1702 scope, 1702B says section 1707G landscaping. That G needs to be F. And then we're going to add, let me make sure I got it right. Yeah, 1708D.
1707.
Not the top buffer, I'm sorry. This is a little bit too lacking.
1707.
Well,
Yeah, landscape buffer, right.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but the setback is 1708D. Setback from approved subdivisions is 1708D. We're adding that one to that list.
Oh, okay.
So now there'll be 4 items under that are excluded.
So you want the buffer requirement?
We want it removed out of the south.
So you need both of them then. You need 1707 D, F. D and F.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the first, I got her. She's, yeah, E should be D. That's where we were off by a letter.
Oh, I know what happened.
It should be 1707 D, landscaping buffer.
Yeah, yeah.
Requirements under letter A. The A should be, say, 1707 D, and then the B should say 1707 F.
Yeah.
I think I know what happened when we were doing it. We were doing the red line version, and I think some of the sections were taken out, so it looked like they were different than what they were.
We'll go with that, Derek.
Whatever helps. Whatever helps.
And the last one's correct.
Can I see it, Chris? I'll do it in the Word document.
And
The last one should be D.
The revisions you just made.
Well, I still need this.
and the setback requirement
Okay. What about?
on the south. I'm just thinking about that.
We took that out.
Oh, that's just one of them. Okay.
Yeah, we added that to the list of exclusions, so, that
whole
aren't
section.
required, that aren't required.
Got it. It's the setback. It's also the all the setbacks. I got it. Okay. I'm caught up.
It's the minimum size requirement, because there was a size of 5 acres, minimum of 5 acres, right?
Right.
So outside of Morganza, there's no minimum size requirement for an RV park. It could be 1 acre, it could be,
No setback.
and no setback from an approved subdivision.
Too many approved subdivisions south of Morganza.
Right. And then what about as far as isn't there setbacks from the road and setbacks? There's other setbacks as well, or no?
Well, there are other setbacks in the, so now you're talking about 1707A, where there shall be a minimum spacing of 10 feet between recreational vehicles or between recreational vehicles and other structures.
And that needs to stay because it's
That
fire
needs to
marshal.
stay because of the fire code.
Got it. Okay. That's the only other setback. Okay.
Mhm.
I thought there was another one from.
Well, at one time, we had talked about like end to end versus side to side, but we just said 10.
Well, I thought there was a setback from the road and from neighboring properties besides the 500,000. I think we covered it.
Well, the setback from the approved subdivision kind of eliminated the need for the other one.
Got it. Oh, Mr. Billiot.
Yes, I just have a quick question. We had talked about that 10 feet, that the 10 feet was not going to include awnings. Remember that?
I do.
Yes.
include
Yeah, Chris and I had a long discussion about that.
Okay.
How did it end up, Chris? I think it was the fire hazard, right? We're worried
Yeah.
about awnings because if you don't have a separation between, then technically you could have awning to awning,
Yeah.
and then if one catches on fire, you just have a tinderbox and everything's lit.
That's why I wanted to make sure that we addressed it, because I was under the impression that we were leaving it with awnings being able to be close together, and my response to that was that's kind of contradictory to what the fire marshal is trying to
Yes.
do here.
So
Because there's a 75% of the lot requirement, and Chris and I had spoken about the issue of trying to ask someone to figure out, hey, you think that's 75% of the entire lot, as opposed to just saying a footage from the end.
The awning's a little different though. So like the awnings on a camper is always to the right side. So if everybody's backing up, everybody's awnings.
but it slides too.
Yeah.
It slides and
Okay.
awning. So
Patios, everything.
in the NFPA, I think I have that right, the fire code. In the 2026 edition, there's one for RV parks. And it basically they had 75%. We were trying to think of other ways to describe it, and they had obviously had gone through the ringer on that, and the language seemed pretty simple. So we basically just put in that similar language, and it's in 1707. under maximum density and site occupancy, you'll see that. So that 75%, like that encompasses slides, canopies, everything has to fit in that 75% area.
Can someone read the South of Morganza real clear, just one more time, what we have, just to make sure we're all on the same page?
1702 scope. I'll just read the entirety of scope. The regulations contained in this chapter shall apply to the placement and use of recreational vehicles and the ownership, development, and operation of recreational vehicle parks, as herein defined, situated in all areas of the Terrebonne Parish, except for locations outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection System, in which the following sections of this article do not apply. Do not all caps. A, Section 1707D, landscape buffer requirements. B, Section 1707F, landscaping. C, Section 1708D, setback from approved subdivision. D, Section 1708E, minimum lot size.
Mr. Smith?
I think we're gonna need a map. Not for us today, but when this gets done, when this draft gets done, we probably should attach either a link to a map or attach a map to show people where the areas are, just to make it a whole lot simpler.
Yeah.
I think so too.
The way that the
Mr. Billiard,
I'm
hit
sorry,
your thing. I got it. I got him.
the way that it reads now, it's just the verbiage thing, because I like the way that it.
Okay.
So it's just the verbiage thing.
Sure.
I don't want to change. I'm not asking to change the subject, not
Sure.
just substance. That's just the
Understand.
verbiage. Right now, it says the regulations contained in the chapter shall apply, and then it says except for. I think this might be clearer if you say the regulations contained in this chapter shall apply to the placement and use of recreational vehicles and the ownership, development, and operation of the recreational vehicle parks as herein defined, situated in all areas of Terrebonne Parish, period.
And then just next sentence that says the following.
For the locations, and then take out except,
Yeah.
and then next, for locations outside of the Morganza, the following do not occur. So it applies to everything, but for these locations, these don't occur. So
Yep.
we don't have that except, making it seem as though
Sure.
it applies to everything except this.
Will we then need
agree.
to change the word all areas to most areas?
No.
That's the reason that.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm saying doesn't needs to change, because we've corrected it.
Well, no. The reason we kept it in one sentence was because we had all. I mean, if we have.
They do apply to all. In the sections behind the Morganza,
Oh.
only these three don't apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got it.
Yeah.
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 That's it.
That's fine. Anyone? Any opposition to that?
Nope, I like it.
Doesn't change
Okay.
the substance.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't change any substance.
All right.
Well, we
Any,
haven't gotten a public comment yet.
now that I think we got some things straight, we're gonna open it up to the public.
So,
One more.
I'll start. We did receive an email today from Miss Connie Foray. She wasn't able to be here tonight. Good morning, Becky. We spoke earlier, letting you know I'm headed out of town to attend an RV motorhome rally, which has been something positive, getting people into our area, enjoying our parish and recreational areas as much as we do. I wasn't able to make last meeting, and it is brought to me that lines have changed now to the Morganza levee. With that being said, would this put parks at nearly rock-throwing distance into new rules and regulations being proposed? I still believe council and planning needs to sit with us as business owners in these areas to come to a happy medium where we can all succeed and keep these low-lying areas of the parish thriving. I will reach out to your office next week. Thank you for calling me back, Connie. And I believe Becky did, mention to Miss Connie that, even if this were to close up tonight, I mean, again, like the rezone we did earlier, it's simply a recommendation that we then will kick this up to the council. So there'll be another round of public hearings and comments at the council level, and more than likely some revisions as well.
Yeah, I think I know where the Morganza's at, but I need to make sure too. Mr. Gold.
Chris, are some of these existing parks, are they gonna be,
Grandfathered in?
grandfathered in? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have an existing RV park, you're grandfathered in. You know, these would not apply to you at any point in time in the future, as long as you continue the operation of that existing RV park. However, if you build an addition to your RV park, that these regulations would apply. Now, we had that in mobile home parks too. There have been instances where somebody did an addition to a mobile home park, but because it was an addition, some of the requirements just flat out they weren't able to meet, just physically not able to do it. It wasn't because they didn't want to do it or whatever. They just couldn't do it. So in those cases, they were able to get a variance from that. So that's still a possibility.
So
here.
they would have to come here for like a non-conforming, variance?
They would, well, anybody with it, like if they do an addition to their existing RV park, they would have to apply for that addition to the planning commission. And in that application, if they say, look, we can't meet this requirement for whatever reason, that would be on the application. And you guys would take it under consideration like you did with Jones' rear lot drainage deal.
Got it.
I think it's also worth mentioning, the reason why Morganza to the Gulf levee system came about was because previously the magic line was the South Terrebonne development zone. Now, while that line does exist, the reason why that line was created was because of drainage. And Joan may be able to elaborate, but basically it was decided at that point in time, and I think it was in the mid-90s, that pretty much all the areas south of that line have water or marsh on pretty much all sides, so drainage calcs aren't required in those instances. So it was a line that we knew existed, and that's why we chose it. What's a line? Okay, boom. But when we got into it, it was at the last meeting, it was determined, well, it's kind of arbitrary in the sense that it was made for, or that line was developed for drainage purposes, not because of RV parks. And so then it was decided, well, maybe the Morganza to the Gulf levee is a better landmark to go by. I'm sorry, one other thing too. I mean, to Miss Connie's point, she's worried about, okay, well, you've got existing RV parks that are right there. I mean, they're right outside that levee. Another thing you could consider, other than instead of the levee itself, is you could do an offset from the levee. Within 1,000 feet of the Morganza to north, inside the Morganza to the Gulf. I mean, you could adjust it.
And we could do a variance if it's somebody comes in, is that close?
Well, there's definitely a variance section built into this thing, just like there's an
we could
appeals
use
section.
we got the ability to use common sense.
Right.
But we need something in place. Mr. Billiard, I'm gonna come to you next. Yes, sir. You wanted to say something?
Yes,
Name and
Lloyd
address.
Poisson, 103 LeConte Lane, Houma, Louisiana. Listen, I've been involved in these committee meetings since it began, and I'll be the first one to tell you, when we first started, I kind of blew a gasket. I was not for this at all. I do own a trailer park and an RV park, and since we started with this deal, I've softened up my stance a lot, mainly because of administration allowing us to be a part of it, and you guys allowing us to be a part of it, and telling, what our feelings are. I've read this deal over and over and over again, and really, I'm gonna make a suggestion. The only thing I see that's missing is that we need to have a clear definition of what an RV is. And when I say a clear definition of RV, I mean you need to spell out that it has to have a hitch on the front of it. It has to have wheels touching the ground. Everything that makes that thing ready to hit the road within 24 hours. Has to be, if it's drivable, it has to be insured. And the reason for that is because in my trailer park, I had 2 requests since the hurricane to bring in old RVs that were damaged in previous hurricanes. They just wanted to set it up on blocks. Well, I'm gonna be living in an RV. Why I can't just put it up on blocks? Well, my position on that was that they were just trying to circumvent the deal of having to tie it down and raise it to the elevation. I could bring you some parks in this parish that would make you sick when you see what they're living in. Now, I'm not one to say, hey, we need to go throw all these people out. That's not what I'm saying. But anybody that's coming in or even, and my reason for doing it too is to give nuisance and abatement the opportunity where if they're driving around and all of a sudden they see somebody sitting on cinder blocks and they have all this other stuff around it, they can address it and say, hey, listen, you're in a violation because of, this is the definition of an RV park, of an RV, all right? So that's all I'm asking. Everything else I'm in agreement with.
Thank you
I mean,
so
there's a
much.
couple minor things, but
Right.
you know, that's the only thing I'm at. A clear, concise definition of what an RV is. Because right now it's just stating that you could be you can be a travel trail or whatever. It doesn't tell you what you have to have, but it should be ready to hit the road within 24 hours.
Okay, we're gonna tackle that right now, and thank you for your valuable insight you've been giving us the last couple of meetings. I do want to add something. So we spoke. Island Road was supposed to be part of the north side. They had asked to be, if you remember correctly. So Island Road was supposed to be part of the north side. They wanted the stricter guidelines and regulations.
Yeah.
So we need to make that adjustment for Island Road to be added to the north side. Mr. Billiard.
Oh, I just wanted to note when Mr. Prinsaw and Miss Berg, Miss Berg, Colleen? Florence?
Connie?
Yes, Connie. I just wanted to note that Mr. Prinsaw, thank you very much for your participation way from the beginning and now. It really did inform and change the document along with the other people who have participated so much. We don't always have as much community involvement in each of the things that we address. So I want to thank you for bringing all of your concerns to us and letting us be informed by your knowledge. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before we jump on that, just one thing we could do in section 1708A, the last sentence of that paragraph,
Yeah, that's-
it kind of follows up where on that discussion, right, road ready. So we can just copy paste that same language into that RV definition as well.
Yep.
So that way it has those elements.
Yep.
Um,
Isaiah was saying the same thing.
Okay. Well, great
You're
minds.
saying the
think
last
alike.
sentence, right, of 1708? Yeah.
Yes, the last sentence.
1708A.
Yep, 1708A. That last sentence we're gonna add, and that
Plug it
defines
into the
what-
bottom of the definitions of recreational vehicle.
right.
So, Island Road and the Pointe-au-Shank community, I mean, I know that was one person.
But he was
speaking on behalf of a larger group, or at least representing a larger group.
correct.
Now, the Morganza to the Gulf levee system on Pointe-au-Shank Road, at least, is pretty much at the very end. I mean, there's a marina. There is an RV park around there. I think it's Tim's,
It
right?
is. Yep.
Now, up the road at Island Road, it's certainly well within where the Island Road starts is within the system, but you go maybe 100 yards and then you're outside of it for the rest of the road. So, so how do we want to?
So is it the first levy or the second levy?
Second.
The one, like after you turn right off of the highway onto Island Road, like you say, you go about 100 yards and you go up and over, and that's Morganza. That's up and over is Morganza.
I just think we have to.
Got it. Thank you. So that's just the
So
drainage
they
levy
want-
outside of the
They
Morganza.
want Island Road to
They-
be included.
That's right. They want the restrictions. They don't want the
Okay,
exemptions.
so then would
Correct.
we then
Mr.
need
Billiard?
to say,
Right, huh?
we have the new sentence, except for locations outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection Zone in which following sections of this article do not apply. And then perhaps under that, would we say except for Island Road, in which all, I mean, it's like an exception to the exception.
But it's also it's also that we're saying that everyone south of the Morganza shouldn't have to abide by this because of restrictions they face. But that section of south of the Morganza
Right.
doesn't have the restrictions. Does that make sense? So we're saying, oh, it's really hard south of the Morganza to really ask you to do landscaping. It's really hard for minimum lot size. It's really hard for, I can't think, setback of approval. But then that one little section south of the Morganza, they have
Bless
to
you.
follow it.
Correct.
So I take that into consideration, whatever you decide after I say that.
And
I'm not saying they shouldn't be added to the list. I'm just thinking about the fact that picking and choosing certain sections of streets that should apply and shouldn't apply, it seems we should have a reason. Obviously they came and they were very strongly for it. And of course, like you said, common sense, if a lot of people want it, we want to stick with it. But it's a very specific part of a street south of the Morganza that we've kind of spent months on saying why they shouldn't follow the regulations because of the issues they face.
And look, I think when we had the conversation with them at that time, we wasn't discussing putting some type of regulations in South. So if they were here tonight, I'd love to get feedback from them saying, hey, look, actually, what y'all have, we're fine with. It's just they're not here. I'm kind of, want to respect their word and where they come from. Mr. Michael.
I think that Derek is right, that you'd have to have some type of, I mean, if we had to respond to every individual's, we would be here for years. And so I think at some point we have to rely upon the opportunity for those people to come to us and ask for a variance for the reasons that we were just describing. Because they may ask for a variance that they want. If they're outside of the, if they're outside and they're not required, maybe at that time, if somebody wants to do an RV park, somebody can come here and say something about it. But I think, I think we have to keep it as it is.
Yeah, and
Thank you, Mr. Michael.
also too, I mean, although I would assume, and that's what I'm doing, I'm assuming in this, that most of the property owners along Island Road are indigenous peoples. Some are not. There's some properties there that are just any old person went and bought a lot. There's even a marina down there. And what if that marina owner has visions of, RV park, kind of like what's at the end of the road at the marina at Pointe-aux-Chenes? So, we haven't heard from him, but he's there. I'm trying to look and.
You good?
But
Yeah.
going forward, if he would come, if he want to do an RV park, he has to apply for it. Oh.
Yeah, do it again.
Oh. He would have to apply for, and then come to us to
Right.
get the variance or not, or whatever the situation is, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So we can make that decision at that time.
Correct.
It wouldn't be a variance because he would be falling into the category.
Well, we would just have to. You'd have
But
to
he still
go
has to
like, well,
apply.
okay, well, what is it that you're having issues with that you're? Yeah, I mean, he's outside of the system, so
yes,
he wouldn't have to get a variance. He'd just choose to do it, but we can't make him do it.
But you would know if he was doing it because he has to apply.
Right.
Okay.
Good job, sir or
Right.
ma'am, for going the extra mile and doing all of the things that are required. I mean, this is obviously this is going to be one that may end up being decided by the council. And look, I mean, yes, we have variance procedures and we have appeals procedures, but there's also sometimes you just got to go with it and see what happens, and then if it's not working, then you change it later. I mean, we just did that with the Rotary Centennial Park Plaza. When we first came up with that, we had all these concerns about, the hours that we'd allow alcohol. So we created this very complex days and times and stuff, and it just did nothing but confuse everybody. And finally, after a year, HPD said, guys, the problem that you envision having is not having. It's just not a problem.
I know.
So last night the council voted, and now we just aligned the alcohol with the same hours that the park is open and closed.
I know.
So
I just didn't want to be Nancy Pelosi when she said we got to pass it to see what's in it. You know what I mean?
Not
Okay,
us.
Mr. Rogers.
Just out of curiosity, how many RV parks you think would possibly try to exist on Island Road?
Yeah.
It's
They-
wetlands,
They could have one
You
by the
can't-
marina for sure.
maybe at the marina, maybe.
There's definitely room for that.
That's the only hard ground they got.
mhm.
So it's not like you can go out there and start trying to build an RV park in wetlands, because I'm
Yeah.
on another board that does that deals with wetlands. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking about a whole lot of issue there.
Mr. Billiard.
Just quickly, the marina is owned by the chief of the United Houma Nation and her father, and they are the largest landowners on the island. So
Okay.
just wanted
There you go.
everybody.
Well, that answers that question. I should have called you earlier to help us out the last 20 minutes. All right, I think we are,
Do we have any more?
It's still public hearing, yeah.
name and address, please, sir.
Scott Brown, 160 Bruce Stephen Michael. Just I guess a point of clarification, that 500-foot approved subdivision, is that on all sides of the property? Sorry about that.
Isn't it supposed to be 10 lots or more?
Scott Brown, and we're at 160 Bruce Stephen Michael. So I just had a question on the 500 feet. Is that on all sides of it, or just neighboring properties? Would it include properties across the road from it?
Consisting of 10 or more lots.
I think the way it's written, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 10 houses or more.
Yeah, it's okay. No RV park shall be located within 500 feet of an approved subdivision consisting of 10 or more lots. An approved subdivision is subdivision residential or commercial industrial approved by the Houma Terrebonne Regional Planning Commission.
Right,
And you have
yeah.
to have a buffer in there too, at the 500 feet, correct? I didn't hear buffer.
That's no, this is just setback. This is,
We said an 8-foot fence at 500 feet or 1,000, no fence.
well, okay, so that, if we want to go back to that, we could say, okay, 1,000 feet
No fence.
of an approved subdivision.
Right.
If you don't have but that's just it, the buffer's required. You see what I'm saying?
Why-
So you can't have everyone's gonna be required to have the buffer except for the people outside of the Morganza system. So if everyone's required to have the buffer, then everyone would be 500 foot. So why not just make it 500 foot and don't do
What-
anything about the buffer, say anything about the buffer?
Well, if you're gonna get an RV park within 500 feet of an existing neighborhood, it needs to have a buffer.
Correct, and it would in
But but to me, if you go another 500 feet, now you're 1,000 feet. You don't need the buffer because you're so far.
Okay, so then what we would need to do then is put an exception in that landscape buffer requirement portion. Like where it says in
I thought
lieu
that's
of a
what we had.
landscape buffer along the perimeter, then we would have, what is this, 8? Now it would say,
I'm trying to
or
find it.
I don't know, somewhere you need to put in there
I'm looking at it.
that RV parks located 1,000 feet or more from an approved subdivision of 10 lots or more, shall not require a landscape buffer.
Correct.
Or this section shall not apply, or
Looking
something
at
like that.
1707D, landscape
Yeah,
buffer requirements, and then
yeah.
just put it at 8.
So let's go back to the buffer and clarify that a little bit because we had discussed in the community meeting of a 8-foot fence. Now I know we're saying landscaping.
6-foot fence.
Well, they said like trees, because you asked about a shrub, and I said, well, how long is it gonna take that shrub to grow? And you mentioned whatever kind of shrub it was.
Yeah, it just has to be a variety that is reasonable, that it
It's
would
gonna
be
grow
that height within
3
3 years.
Correct. That's what I remember discussing.
Or fence.
Or 6-foot fence.
Okay.
All right, so I guess my question was?
Yeah, back to you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay, because I
Forgot you
like
were
watching
there.
government work. It's funny.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So Yeah, is
Compliment, kinda?
it is a compliment. Is that 500 feet just from their direct neighbors, or does it also include 500 feet from across the road from where they would build?
Yeah, the way it's measured is closest property corner to closest property corner as a person would walk along a public right of way.
Okay, so we're in Hillcrest. I mean, it's about the FEMA camp. So we're in Hillcrest. Would that not allow them to build the RV park at the FEMA camp? Because it's across the road from Hillcrest? Off Water Plant
Hillcrest,
Road?
where's
Water Plant Road.
okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, I mean they would be within
Well within.
500
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. Okay, yeah. That I just making sure it wasn't like just neighbors, that it also included across the road from where they
Oh
would
yeah,
build.
no, it's
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. It's
So
just
like a radius then almost.
yeah, it yeah.
An extension of the
It
square,
can't-
whatever.
Like a bomb.
Yeah.
It's along the public right of way though, but the location you're talking about, yeah,
Yeah.
that old RV, not FEMA group site,
Right.
is not wouldn't be allowed to be
Okay.
converted to an RV park. But they're in the process of converting that back to pre-storm conditions, or are they finished?
They haven't done anything. that I'm
Okay,
a-
well,
I mean,
they're-
the only thing that I know they did was
plans.
remove that septic system out of there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
supposed to be
Yeah.
taking everything, including the limestone, out.
I think that's where the hangup is, looking for people to do that and how much it's gonna cost somebody. So,
One way
that's
that
not up to me. I don't care about that.
one way that Chris explained it to me, which I think works well, is so if you're on opposite side of a bayou from it, it could still be 500 to 1,000 feet because public right of way could be the walkway around the bayou. You know, although you could throw a stone at it across the bayou, you don't know how far it actually is unless you follow the right of way.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mr. Smith.
I don't even remember. That was so long ago.
Sorry. Yes, sir. Name and address.
Joey Verdin, 204 Constant Street. I have an RV park on Shrimpers Road. My concern was the landscaping. Trees. We're the first ones to get hit by a storm.
Are you,
know,
in the Maganza or are you
I'm
out?
inside the Morganza. The only thing that's out of the Morganza and Dulac is Full Point. Yeah,
But you grandfathered in.
but my septic system is large enough to add on. So if I decide to add on, then I have to adapt these rules.
Only to the part that you're adding on to.
Right. So if I'm adding on, then it ain't just landscaping. It's a service building. Then with a service building, I have to have a building,
That's
a new
when you
septic
would-
system.
Well, that's when you would come in front of us and we'd have the variance, the ability to,
Okay.
So, right now,
Ms.
the
Sanjo.
service building requirements are still kind of an anomaly. I know that right now the state is in the process of converting a lot of the requirements over to building code versus in the plumbing code, and there's this back and forth between them about that. They're fighting over it essentially. But what the building code folks, the Louisiana Construction Code Council, they're trying to have it recognize the difference between an independent and dependent RV parks and RVs and travel trailers, and they're trying to get away from the service building requirement because it's just kind of something that it just
That's more for.
it's kind of an antiquated. Yeah, I mean, if you've got, think about, I mean, if you've got a nice RV with your own private bathroom and shower and stuff, you gonna go use the public toilets? No.
Primitive, that's what they call it.
Yeah, primitive campsites, yeah. So, but there are certainly RV parks that currently exist in Terrebonne that don't have service buildings, and there are reasons why they weren't required to have them. And we would hold the same for your proposed addition. The chief building official also weighs into those discussions too.
I thought we changed that wording on there to say that it was not required. It may.
We did say may.
If he has to have a service building, then this is what it has to be, but it's not required that you have to put one up.
It
if
says
you-
all spaces may be required by the Department of Health to have access to common facilities provided to meet the service building and sanitary service station requirements of Louisiana Uniform Construction Codes and Louisiana Public Health Sanitary Code.
So if the Department of
not
Health
required.
So if
doesn't
they don't
require
say you
him
have to have it,
he
then you
doesn't
don't have to
build
have it.
one.
And I thought that was a part of the conversation that if he said,
Oh, wait, go ahead. Hit it again. Go ahead.
I thought a part of that conversation was like if he said he's going to have primitive camping spots, then that's when that sentence would apply to him. He would have to get a service building. But if he doesn't, when he comes in for the permit, if he just says that, no, it'll be all RV campers, we don't have any primitive camping at all, then that doesn't apply to him.
So what would happen is kind of like what normal, say typical subdivisions, you know, they come in with the utility service letters and Department of Health is one of them, right? They have that letter of no objection. Same thing would apply to an RV park. If he comes in and says, well, I went to the Department of Health and they said I don't need to have a service building, then good.
All right, cool.
We just need that in writing from the Department of Health.
You good with that?
Good with that. Another question though. So if I add on, going back to landscaping, and we have a storm, and it wipes out these trees and plants, are we gonna be, like Ida, I lost a bunch of trees, 20, 30 trees. I'm just now, a few months ago, being able to plant the trees again.
But if
And I
you-
want trees, but it ain't always in the budget.
So say you do an addition and you plant the trees. We're not going back out there after to make sure the plants stay alive or the trees stay alive. If you planted them one time, I feel like you do.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't want.
No, that's
No?
not correct. So,
Because if his neighbor
the
calls in
buffer
on him-
requirement
Yeah,
is the
somebody
buffer
call-
requirement in perpetuity. So now what I will say is that like with the storm, at that point you would be what? I mean, you're non-conforming because you're not, the buffer's gone. But we give 2 years, when like a storm comes through and structures get damaged, and in this case, landscape would fall into that same category. Someone would have 2 years to get that into compliance.
But that could get pricey every 2 years if he's got to put trees up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we had a storm last year, wiped out my
Francine,
fence.
yeah.
Wiped out my fence. It fell for Ida, fell for this. Now I got tired of fighting with the fence. I planted bamboo. So, but I'm just saying, that's what I'm looking at.
Anyway.
If something happens for a storm, then I'm having to replace that along with other damage that I may have.
I think you come back to us, man. We got common sense up here. We're gonna work with you. We're not trying to hurt you.
So if you had a continued issue like that, then what he would do is come back to you guys and say, "Look, I've replaced this 2 times. So then I need a variance from that requirement." And you say, "Okay, for whatever reason, your spot in the world, you're having these problems, so you could grant that variance."
Yes.
Okay,
That's how we would handle that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anybody else from the public on this matter? It's hot. Going once, public. 2 times public. 3 times public. I have a motion by Mr. Soudier, a second by Mr. Rogers. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes. Administration, or you said your piece?
That spoke enough.
Okay. All right. Well, we're looking for a commissioner comment or a motion.
Well, before we do that, if you don't mind, I would say that if we were gonna recommend passing tonight, that I at least reread the additions we made, because I don't want there to be any confusion as to, I was asked to add these things, and it seems like everyone agrees to them, but I don't want there to be any confusion as to what was added and then approved, if that makes sense.
Do you want to read them again?
Because what you're holding in front of you isn't technically what you would be passing.
You want to read them again?
That's up to you guys.
Mr. Smith.
You can say the changes and then you can say that they pass it as per.
Correct. Correct.
As
So if there,
amended.
so I'll wait till if there's a motion or there's a motion, then I'll read and then we can second and vote if that's how y'all want.
Mr. Smith.
Oh, I remembered what I was I was gonna say, it was back to the punishing issue. Couldn't they make almost like a covenant for if they wanted to have like stronger regulations?
Well, subdivision covenants are always, something that's a possibility. The challenge is oftentimes you have to get 100% participation
Approval, yeah.
amongst all the property owners, and good luck with that.
I was just saying
Anywhere.
that may be an
Anywhere.
option that they want to look into. Because I'm with you. I kind of think that making an exception to the exception would kind of
Yeah.
I agree.
throw a wrench into it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. McGuire?
Couple of things. As far as the, will the subcommittee meet once again?
No, this is it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all. We did 2 of them and went through the whole thing.
Okay.
Line item by line item.
That's
Well, they've
fine.
been the committee's been meeting on this since March.
Right.
I just didn't want to have it come through and we miss something as far as what's being added on tonight. And the other thing is, I'm definitely concerned about that variance that we were just talking about, with the gentleman that was just up. If we mess around there and have folks coming with variance, even after having to replace things ever so often, what are you going to have then? Everyone will be coming for that variance, and that property is going to look like we don't want it to look. So we got to be very careful about saying we're going to be giving this individual that variance when they come.
So like any other,
I understand where you come from, but man, we got to be careful not to kill these business
No,
owners.
and
You know?
I'm not saying that if we're looking to kill the business.
Right.
But when I'm in business, I'm in it knowing that I take the risk.
Right.
When something happens, I have to take care of that. And I also have to prepare for that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to be in that position to repair all the time. But we're living in Louisiana. We know what's going to happen. Okay. So I just have to prepare myself for that. Yeah, that's my concern.
So section 1711 is the variance section, and this is kind of standard language that you see oftentimes with respect to variances in a lot of ordinances and regulations. But under 1711A is where it can be shown by the owner or the owner's designated representative. So the burden of proof, if you will, is on them, right? That any provision of these regulations would cause any unnecessary hardship if strictly adhered to because of topographical or other conditions peculiar to the specific site. Then a variance must be petitioned for in writing and submitted to the planning commission. So basically what that's saying is it's gotta be, just because you were to grant a variance to this person for this property does not guarantee that another person could come with the same same requested variance for their property, and you would have to grant it. You could say, well, no, the reason why we granted it here is because of this, but you don't have that situation here. So you would be able to deny it based off of that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. McGuire.
It's about as close as being arbitrary and capricious as you can come, but you got to have a reason for it.
Mr. Smith.
And I just want to kind of put it out there that we never rubber stamp anything. There have been times that staff has made a recommendation to give a variance and we voted against it
Right.
because it was in the best interest of either the person who was applying or the public that showed up and said, no, we do not support it. So as long as we're being conscious about that decision and we're using discernment to make those decisions, I feel comfortable that giving them the option to come and let their piece be heard. I feel like we're very fair when it comes to that, but I refuse to rubber stamp anything that comes here.
Agreed. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Gold.
So Chris, on some of these buffer zones, so what he was saying, if the fence keeps falling or the plants aren't holding up, shouldn't we recommend a certain fence or a certain guideline? Because you know, if you're down there and you putting up 4x4 post on a fence, you know it's not going to make a hurricane. Or if you have 1 foot by 1 foot footings going a certain depth in the ground, certain plants, certain size fence, certain size post, certain depth of concrete, maybe adding that in regulation.
So,
You'd raise
yeah,
the
what
price
you
on it.
could do, like in that instance, I mean, you would like to think that people, okay, if they're, depending upon where they are, they're gonna build it, you know, to hold up, right? But if there's, like, say, an instance where they come to you and you could approve a variance, okay, well, we're gonna let you, we're gonna ease up on some of these requirements for this, but you could put conditions on there too. I mean, you could say, well, we're gonna, you know, you don't necessarily have to have this type of fence, but you could have this, you could use this other fence type in lieu of that might be a little more resilient. Or you could give them a, you know, conditions of approval that might.
So that we can go in the regulations, that would be more of a variance.
I mean, we could get into.
I just think you got to be careful again. Back to just.
But you know, when you're doing it the
skyrocketing
first
costs.
time,
Right.
and I've been a victim of doing it, trying to be a little bit cheaper. I put in a smaller post, not deep enough concrete. I mean, on new construction, I put up a fence 3 times, and then I finally went with something 3 foot in the ground, 3 foot wide,
And see, our building I mean, when you go look at building code, I mean, if unless you're building a fence that's more than 7 feet tall, you're not going to have plan review, you know, on something like that. So if you choose to put, you know, a 6-inch footer instead of 18 inches, well, you know, stupid is as stupid does, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Mr. Gold. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, when you're talking cosmetic things, I would want to stay away from anything that deals with ways and means. We probably shouldn't give any recommendations because the opposite is true. If we tell them to put something and it doesn't hold up or it becomes some type of hazard, now we have some responsibility. So ways and means, I think we need to take a step away from that.
Miss Angel.
And we can also ask, like, if they do come for the variance, we can ask those questions like, well, what type of fence did you put up that kept falling down? You know, and maybe figure out the grant, like grant it or don't grant it based on that information.
We gotta think.
and we do have fence requirements, buffer requirements in the zoned areas, you know, between commercial and residential areas. And when the fence falls down because of a storm, they're putting it back up.
Public also had thoughts about, because of the hurricanes with fences get knocked down a lot, because fences and, you know, pretty much what Chris kind of said and what we've been discussing.
Well, the benefit of the fence falling down.
You up, Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Let's look at the soil conditions. Soil conditions on Shrimpers Row are not the same soil conditions on the northern end of the parish. So,
Yeah.
you know, you put up a board fence, it's coming down. I don't care what you say. So we gotta look at that too. I see what he's saying. Thank you.
Mr. Soudier.
Well, the benefit of having your fence falling down, especially south of the Marganza, you get all that marsh grass and debris piled up against that fence.
That fence ain't holding that.
If it falls down, it's going somewhere else. You ain't gotta clean it. If it falls down right there, you gotta clean it. And everybody's got that problem. You put a cyclone fence, it's like a netting.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you, Mr. Soudier. All right. I mean, we'll see what everybody else says. I think it's there to push forward. I really think we made the adjustments we need to have a baseline. Something's better than nothing, you know. And we got some issues in the parish where I think it's time to push something through. I'm comfortable with somebody making a motion and at some point Derek reading the adjustments we made to make sure that that is in there. Thoughts?
You want a motion to have Derek read the?
No, I can read before a motion's made. I just didn't want to make it seem like I was influencing a motion, but I'll read the changes now and then y'all can do whatever y'all want with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so 1702 scope. I'll give y'all everyone a second. They like to go there. All right. I'll just read exactly like it says for me. The regulations contained in this chapter shall apply to the placement and use of the recreational vehicles and the ownership, development, and operation of recreational vehicle parks as herein defined, situated in all areas of Terrebonne Parish. And this is where the changes started. Period. For locations outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection System, comma, in which the following sections, it'll say, comma, the following sections of this article do not apply. And then we have the sections are A, section 1707D, landscape buffer requirements. B, section 1707F, landscaping. C, section 1708D, setback from approved subdivision. D, section 1708E, minimum lot size.
Okay.
That's not it.
This-
That's not it.
What
You're
do you-
adding to the definition of recreational vehicle.
Yeah, I was on highlighting that so I could move on to the next one. That's all right. So 1703 definitions. Recreational vehicle, in parentheses RV, means a motorized or towable vehicle that combines transportation and temporary living quarters for travel, recreation, and camping. For purposes of this chapter, a recreational vehicle includes new and used motorhomes, new and used travel trailers, new and used fifth wheel travel trailers, new and used folding camper trailers, and slide in truck campers. And they have in blocks LARS, which is Louisiana Revised Statute, Title 32, Section 1252.47, and then end of the block. RV shall be registered with the appropriate Department of Motor Vehicles for their stage of origin. That doesn't seem, is that right?
Yeah, and then we're adding, you're adding,
The last sentence of the other one.
yeah, here. you
But then when I
want-
copied it, it didn't paste in. It's 1708A.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to copy and paste it earlier, it didn't paste. And then after that, it says, a recreational vehicle is ready for highway use if it is on the wheels or jacking system, is attached to the site only by quick disconnected type utilities and security devices, and has no permanently attached additions.
Good.
All right, let me paste that in because for some reason it didn't paste when I tried earlier. Okay. And then give me 1 second to move on to the next one. All right, section 1707, recreational vehicle parks, subsection D8. This is being added. 1707D, landscape buffer requirements, and 8 is being added, Romanet VIII. It's going to say this section shall not apply to recreation vehicle parks located at least 1,000 feet from an approved subdivision.
Mhm.
And then there's one more. Let me know if y'all are ready for it. The only other change that was made is
500 feet buffer, correct?
1707J,
You got the 500 feet buffer in there, right?
health and hygiene. I saw the last sentence was italicized. It seemed like it shouldn't be italicized, so I unitalicized it.
Shouldn't the 500 feet with the buffers be in the same set 1708, or is it somewhere else?
It's somewhere else. I did see it.
1708D.
D?
1708D.
So you're saying if it's 1,000 feet, you don't have to do landscape?
That was brought up by I don't remember which commissioner brought it up, but yeah, that was brought up at some point, and it was recommended we add it. And then just to be clear, the health and hygiene, J, there seemed to be a sentence at the end of J that was italicized, so I simply unitalicized it. That's it. I didn't change anything to it.
And look, it may be somewhere else, but when you look at deed of setbacks, approved subdivisions, it does have the 500 feet. I'm guessing in the other section, it talks about the buffer, because they're not together. There's no buffer mentioned in D.
So the buffers under the other 1707D.
Yeah, landscape
in the
buffer
last section of
requirement.
it says that the landscape buffer requirements shall not apply if the location is
Got it.
more than 1,000
Yes.
foot from an approved subdivision.
I'm
Yeah, that was just assisting places that aren't even close to approved
If
subdivision.
you're 999 feet, you're putting in a buffer. If you're 1,000 or more, you're not.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
And if you're 499, you're not. It's not happening.
And those were the only changes, the ones I mentioned.
Got it. Mr. Smith.
I think we're gonna have to expand the definition of RV because when this originally started in March, remember last year we had a couple of people came in from Westgate and they had a guy who put a trailer in his backyard, but it had wheels on it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't technically an
Yes.
RV and it wasn't technically a trailer.
Yeah.
And there was
So-
no way to register it with the DMV, so we couldn't call it an RV.
It was a tiny house you're talking about, right?
No,
It wasn't even
No,
that.
It was
wasn't.
technically in
It was
between
Lisa
all the
Park.
definitions.
We're actually having a big discussion about that internally with administration and the council members. That's people playing the what if game, which I hate that game. You know, they came in with basically kind of like a Connex box.
Right.
And then they started trying to convert that Connex box into, first it was an RV, because at the time, we were still operating with that executive order that was allowing RVs and travel trailers to be in single-family residential because of the hurricane.
Right.
So that person was scrambling, trying to get it into what amounted to an RV. Then, and of course, they never got fully there because of they hadn't gotten to the OMV and gotten it registered and everything else. Probably never would have anyway. And then they ended up converting it further into what amounted to an accessory dwelling unit. I mean, if you put enough improvements into anything, you can get it to where it meets building code. Like if you go buy one of those portable sheds from, that they sell around town, it might look like a house on the outside, but it's not. It's a shed. But if you sink enough money into it, you could probably get it to meet building code requirements if you enough. But what we need to do with regards to that is not allow for the what if game to take place. No, that's what it is. It needs to go. And that's a problem that we need to work on in our department.
Right. So that's
It's an enforcement issue.
And I remember when the guy came in, we ended up having pictures of it, and it doesn't look like anything that I've ever seen. And apparently it looked like it just got bought off of a website and dropped off at his house. But it had 2 axles.
Yeah.
So I was kind of confused. Like, we can't really go off of the definition of what an RV is or a trailer. Like you said, it was, they tried to congeal this thing into something that it really wasn't. So
Right.
I just don't want the same thing to happen here where we're allowing people to fall through the cracks. Like, I completely get
Well,
it.
it has to have a license plate. It has to be registered.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Becky.
Yeah, I really just want to mention that if you look under section 1707B, they have Romanettes 1 through 3. We did take the italics off of that, but I've made the copies before. But on the draft, it's not italics. Just want to mention that. But I didn't want to throw away the copies because I had already made the copies.
There was another area, I don't know if you picked that up too, where we had these rogue italics. It's 1707J,
We
the
just
last
talked
sentence.
about that one, I think.
We did?
Yeah, we just
that was
talked about
health
that.
and hygiene. I noticed it during this meeting, and I took
Okay.
off the italics. The italics of the last sentence, in areas where the sewage connection is a community sewer, TBCG pollution control approval shall also be required. That was
Alright.
italicized. No changes substantively.
I don't know what that is. I'll give you the mic. Angel found something else.
Under,
You can't get nothing past her.
under section 1710 violations, B, number 1, 2, 3.
B,
four,
as in
five,
boy?
6, B, yes.
Oh, it was only, yeah.
Um,
Oh,
Under
January.
Roman numeral 6, it has crossed out January 1st, 2015.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
That needs to go. That was in there, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, because these began in 2014.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
changed it to the adoption date of these ordinances, but did not see that it was
Okay.
stricken out.
Yeah, in the clean version, we should have just taken that out completely.
Completely, okay.
So I'm not gonna reread every change, just know that that change is added to the changes I
Got it.
stated. And again, that's not a substantive change, because it was stricken out, it just wasn't deleted.
Okay, I think we are, I know I am, ready for a motion if everybody's comfortable.
Second.
A motion by Mr. McGuire, a second by Mr. Rogers. All approved, aye? All opposed, nay?
Just to
As
be
amended.
clear, just to be clear,
As amended.
to approve as amended,
The draft as amended.
correct? To,
And forward.
yeah, okay. So that's what he said.
Now I feel better. That was a lot of work.
Opposed, nay? Motion passes. That's good government right there.
Alright.
Great job, team. Commissioner comments?
Just wanna.
Mr. Smith first.
Oh, by all means, go ahead.
Just wanna say to the, subcommittee, great job y'all did
Yeah.
on all of this, man. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Billiot.
I wanted to thank Mr. Smith and Mr. Studier, for working on the committee and then bringing it to the full group. And as well as, I know some of them are not here right now, but Mr. Ponce, I don't know how to pronounce it. Once?
Whistle.
Yeah,
Just like on jail.
Ask her.
That's what I
Wait. Okay. I want to thank Mr. P for participating in all of this and everyone who came to inform. Really appreciate all of the community input. And so that it helped us to get this document that we have tonight. So thank you so much for everyone's help.
Yes, sir. Mr. Smith.
First, I'd like to thank the Academy. The only comment I really had was about parish-wide sewer. Where are we with that?
So the CDBG disaster recovery wastewater master plan project is kicking off. The consulting team, we've had a couple of scoping discussions with them, making sure that they were fully aware of what we're asking them to do. They certainly know that this is a major goal of the Planning Commission, and we've made it clear that we want to have several members of the Planning Commission on the advisory committee for that work. So that's going to come along once they really get going. They haven't executed the task order yet, but they're almost there. So they're going to first look at the system as a whole, like what we have, and first address any, make recommendations to, fix any issues or make improvements to the existing system. And then also part of the master plan will be looking to prioritize areas for the expansion. And then if there's money left at the end, we'll use it for actual implementation.
Which is necessary. I feel like you're a third world country if you don't have proper sewer systems.
Well, and it has impacts, elsewhere too. I mean, water quality goes down because oftentimes what happens is the homeowners don't know or can't afford to maintain their system, so their system falls into disrepair, and then you've got discharge into our waterways that's not nice.
You don't appreciate that stuff until you don't have it.
Yeah, and I'm not being facetious when I say that. Like when you're talking raw sewage going in the ditches, and you know all of our kids love playing in the ditches when it rains a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't need that type of stuff going on here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Billiard.
Very quick, I have a very quick question for Chris. I just wanted to ask, where are we on the Complete Streets project?
Okay, good. That's an excellent question. So, today the consultant it's with CPAC sent me the letter to send out to all of the advisory committee members. We're looking at, I think it's November 13th, if I'm not mistaken, for the first advisory committee meeting where we'll sit down and go over, talk about, what Complete Streets means to everybody and help give those guys some guidance in moving forward.
Who's
So-
the advisory committee?
Well, we're going to be sending it to Robbie, and he'll basically, we'll have members of the Planning Commission serve on it, right? We'll have Public Works. We'll have, DOTD.
Okay. Since it hasn't been created yet.
Correct. Well, we have a list of agencies that need to be part of it.
Right.
That represent different areas of the community. But I mean, certainly we're going to have the people that are paying the most for this effort be on that committee. We're also going to look to have somebody representing the parish council serve on it too. So.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Billiard.
Yeah.
Public comments? I need one more motion to adjourn. I got a motion by Mr. Billiard, a second by Mr. Rogers. All approved, aye. All opposed, nay. So motion passes.
So we got new checks because all the big ones are back.
Parish got their money. They got their money out of this. I feel like the parish really got their money out of us today.
I think so. I think so. I'm about to go to that council.
Yes, that's right.